it. Okay, let's do an energy check-in for the collective, please. Collectively, before we get into the signs, collectively, what are we feeling here? What are we feeling here? Okay, everybody has a role to play. Everybody is playing their part right now. Okay. So that means some of you, things are going well. Some of you are doing great. Some of you are, well, actually, all of you are doing great if you're working in alignment with where you want to be and where you should be, right? Okay, what I mean by that is some of you are sitting back and you're like, I'm just waiting for my rewards to come in right now because I know it's my time. I've done my work. And some of you are getting in the grind. They like, let me knock this out because I want to try to get to where that person, I want to try to get my blessings. I want to set myself up for this. So let me do my stuff. Let me get on it. And some of you are feeling like, trying to motivate yourself to even get to that step, trying to find where you want to go. So I feel like, which is life, right? Everybody is playing their role. So for those of you who are awake, conscious, can see what's happening, can feel what's happening. Those of you who are probably sitting in the seat of, I'm just waiting for my blessings to come in because I know they're coming. They are mine. I deserve them. I'm not even waiting. They are here. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Okay. Those individuals, when you're sitting back or you're observing, you're conscious of what's happening, you can see what's happening. Oh, the scenario that I just described would be literally kind of like how you would see your life. You will be sitting there saying, ooh, she finally he or she, they are putting in the hard work now. I see them working a little bit harder. And then you will see somebody else who's maybe having a tough time. Maybe I could reach out and talk to them and encourage them. Or you'll see somebody who like, yeah, team, we've been on it. So you'll see it like literally pan out in front of you. And so when those people who come to you with really their emotions on their sleeve, I feel like there's going to be some people who are sentimental, or some people who are just beat down, some people who are just when you see them come to you, some people who are going to be lashing out. When you see them come to you, you're going to know how to handle it. Okay, collective. All right. Yeah, I'm seeing 9 of Pentacles here and the Hierophant, because you can see you are learning the lessons, and you see you're paying attention because you're not in a rush like some of those other folks who want to get it super quick. No, we want to go ahead and take the time to listen. We want to take the time to listen. I got to learn out how I want to go ahead and shuffle these. Just tell me when we're ready. Okay, editing skills at its finest. I guess I can really trim that down. This is just me getting in the zone. Auto-zone. All right. I am going to invest in a little microphone for y'all too. For myself. Okay. So, energy check-in. Energy for the collective. The 7 of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and the 5 of Bats. That's the second time this afternoon that I've seen the 5 of Bats come out. And remember how I said, you guys, there's a group of you that are sitting there. Those of you who've been doing the work, and you know, and even if you haven't been on yourself, it's okay. Today is a new day. This moment right now is a new moment. Start right now. Start today. Get up and do something today that you know will get you to where you really want to be later. And if that's taking the time to read a book, then read the book. If it's taking time to meditate, take time to meditate. If it's taking time to draw, play an instrument, dance, go for a walk, anything that you know that you're trying to do, implement good habits or a better version of yourself, take some time right now, today, to do it. It's never too late. You always have a starting point. There always has to be a starting point. So start over. Give yourself grace. Start over. Seven of Pentacles, sitting patiently. Like I said, some of you know you've been doing the work. You know that this is a time of transition. You know that this is a time also of harvest. Okay, fruits are on the tree, and we are really literally sitting here looking to see how these blessings are about to trickle down upon us. I seen a card in the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Okay, I believe it's all the fates, I think is what it is. But we're literally sitting there looking and waiting for these blessings to fall down upon our heads, because we know it's time. We're like, ooh, which one, what's coming down? Because we know that they're here. We know that they're here. And so we're just sitting back and we're preparing. You're also knowing you're making wise decisions about that. Okay, I know things are coming in. I know things are about to change for me. So what do I want to cultivate? What do I want to take these blessings and use them towards? What are my goals and dreams? Have I obtained them? And am I now, what's the next phase of my step, right? And then remember I said, if you're paying attention and you're looking at your environment, you can see what's happening. You can identify the different stages, and you can understand because you yourself have been there. You've worked through it, but you can see that there's a change. You can see the activity, and you can tell where everybody is kind of at. You get a feel for it, I should say. That's this Queen of Cups. And remember I said some people are going to be feeling a little down. Some people are going to be feeling a little, anxious. Some people are going to be a little aggressive. But you're going to be able to feel that, and you're going to be able to acknowledge it and understand where they're coming from. You're going to be empathetic as well as sympathetic. And I think you're going to be able to address all of those situations from a very good Queen of Cups energy, where you're giving the right amount of knowledge, wisdom, compassion. You're speaking it. You're sending out the right tenderness, and I will use the word love. I'm not, keep it in context, but you're sending out that emotion of, hey, let's compromise. You're not so much like being like maybe sometimes the really curt, if you done got on her bad side, Queen of Swords. You're more like, okay, here, let me help you out here, because I understand what you're going through, and I got some things or some ways that might be helpful if you're open to that. Would you be open to me sharing that with you and seeing what kind of feedback you get back? The Five of Bats I see here, because the Five of Bats feels like, you know what, there's going to be some things where people just don't know what they're doing, right? There's going to be some people who are coordinating and working together. There's somebody who's, giving direction. This is not necessarily having to be all of chaos and turmoil. However, that's kind of what it looks like. Remember, I said you're kind of sitting back and you're watching these individuals and you're seeing like boom, 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 boom. This is the cycle of life. This is a cycle. I can see people, I can feel where they are in their cycle, and this is what I see. Okay, so with that being said, continue to be observant. What you have just experienced is, I don't want to say self-awareness or self-consciousness, but that's what you're doing, right? You're taking the time to listen to oneself. You're taking your time to be the passenger, right? And observe, right? So you're sitting back and you're watching and you're understanding and you're hearing this intuition, or you're hearing your thoughts, whatever you prefer to call it, and you're saying, okay, you're in tune with what's happening around you in your environment, and you know just how you choose to handle it. It's really good energy. I'm going to get some advice from your guides on that, but it's really good energy, actually. I would feel like the best thing right now for you would be to just get ready for the harvest to come in, because it is time. The harvest is coming. I earlier pulled a card for the feminine energy, and it says, the Princess of Autumn Harvest brings gifts of bounty and blessing for efforts and actions of the past. It is a time when the fruits of your labor is ripe for the picking. A beautiful blessing is on its way to you now. With gratitude in your heart, you will recognize the blessing when it comes to you, and it will serve you perfectly. Be open to receiving it and knowing that it is justly deserved. Okay, so that's that harvest. There's that Seven of Pentacles. I'm sitting here sucking on my thumb, staying in my comfort zone, or stay in where I know things work for me right now, right? I'm cool right here. I'm not gonna go be in the 5 of wands energy. I'm gonna sit right here. And then when things do come towards me, I'm gonna know exactly how to stand up and handle it. Okay. I know exactly how I want to handle it. Okay. Never ending story. I'm surprised to see that. I really wasn't I wasn't expecting that one. The never ending story. I feel like that's kind of, it's card number 37, which tells me it's the ending of a cycle, right? And that's kind of what I feel here for this. Like that, remember I talked about self-realization, really understanding, like being able to see the cycle that's in front of you, right? And I said that this is life, right? I feel like now that this is an epiphany of sorts for you. Like this is, okay, now I see how this works. And this is just how it works. This is how it works. And I truly get to choose this time how this cycle is panning out for me, because it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And some days I'm going to be exhausted. Some days I'm not going to want to deal with this. And there's actually going to be some people who feel like that. And like I said, you're going to be coming up. You'll probably encounter them. And you're going to come from a Queen of Swords, a Queen of Cups energy, where you're going to be able to provide them with the knowledge, right? So I got a message the other day, a meme, and it said, something along the terms of knowledge is understand. Don't even let me mess it up. I'm not even going to do it. I take that back. Anyway, it puts me in the frame of that because I can't quite pull the words and I don't want to mess it up because it makes sense. Wisdom, though, is the application of the knowledge that you there have learned, right? So, I feel like that's how you're going to come. Like people are actually going to be able to hear you and see you in a higher light, we'll say, because what you're going to share and how you're sharing it is really going to impact others in a nice way, in a good way, right? Because there are people who are in the stages of feeling really like, ugh. We've all kind of been there, but you're going to be able to tell them your experience, how you got through something, and that's going to be awesome. That's going to be amazing. It's really going to help. And you have learned these lessons because now you have taken the time to sit still, be present with oneself, understand where your thoughts are, understand where your feelings are, and you're able to like communicate that so much clearly, okay? So over time, you've taken all of these small steps and you even were wondering, are they progressing? And now you're at a point where you're like, I know I'm good. I know I'm good. I see it now. I see it. Okay? Building blocks. There it is. I'm going to pull one more. Building blocks. That's another another 10. So 37 and 28. So both a 10. Another cycle. Again, remember we're building on these skills, and that's what I was saying. It's like you see it now. It's like you're like, okay, I got it. And remember we talked about blessings coming down, right? That's another thing. See, these cubes are coming down and everything is lining up exactly as it should be. Another cycle being completed. I really feel like you know how to work through things a lot better now, where you can step back and observe yourself and others, and you can actually respond instead of react. I feel like this is a really good energy. This Queen of Cups energy right here, it really serves you right now. It's gonna be gracious. And I say that masculine or feminine. It's just gonna be a gracious energy, one that you accept with humility and grace. And also it highlights your growth, okay, as a person. I feel like this is a moment for you. This is a time for you that you're going to be recognized, or a time where you're going to shine, or you're going to be able to feel good and proud about yourself, and others are going to see that. And some of you may have come up from the bottom and worked your way up to a particular place. And even if it wasn't from the bottom, you just worked your place. You worked yourself from point A to B, and you're happy. You want to acknowledge that. Good for you. Congratulations. Oh, congratulations. Okay. Everything is lining up perfectly. Everything is lining up perfectly. One more, please. What else do you have? Between worlds. Okay. See how that land right under that 5 of bats there, where I was saying you're able to kind of sit back and watch what's going on, and you can see like this organized chaos. Um, I feel like that's where you're at. Remember, between worlds, where you're sitting back and you're self-aware, there's this higher level of consciousness or awareness, and I feel like you're really there in that. I'm going to take a quick moment to look at, and this is card number 3, to look in the book for you guys, just to see if there's anything really quick that that might want to come through for your messages with these cards. So the Never-Ending Story talks about self-criticism, the wounded ego, and unnecessary drama, right? I feel like there's a lot of release of that. We talked about that. You're going to see that around in other people. Okay, basically, if you're still telling yourself a story of hurt, loss, rejection, humiliation, self-loathing, and arrogance, this is unnecessary drama. These are old stories. So you want to go ahead and not go there and just stay out of that mindset. Stay in the mindset of gratitude already for the blessings that you've received. They're here. They're here. Okay, and that's what you really want to focus on, not being down in the dumps. But you do want to be able to provide this kind of love should you find someone should you come across someone who needs that type of help. Okay. The sky is not actually falling, and that voice you hear is just small and scared, okay? It's a conditioned part of you that's stuck in a lie, okay? So those of you who are having a hard time getting to the next step, remember, it's just start over one day at a time. That's what we talked about, one moment at a time, okay? You are not your story, and the narrator more than likely is the fearful part of you, okay? The small and vulnerable part of you, okay? So be mindful of how you're speaking when you're sharing with others, what you're sharing with them about how you are moving through. And remember, this was just something that worked for you. It may not work for everyone else. And ask questions. The best way to get someone to have a moment is by asking them the questions. You know, they may initially come to you, but as they are, sharing with you, can I ask you, this or what have you, and they can kind of work through a problem themselves just by you really providing a listening ear and maybe asking the right questions, or some valid, or not right and valid, but probing, that doesn't sound like the right word either, thoughtful, thought-provoking type questions, okay? The building blocks, strong foundation, a beautiful work in progress. Okay, you have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. For this is the time when you focus your needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Your work, your relationships, and your very being are underwritten by your values, ethics, morals, and core beliefs. Okay. So again, you're restructuring, you're coming from a place of love. You're not being, the gatekeeper. You're not being a tyrant. You are actually like sharing the information and the love that you have, the wisdom that you've applied. It's like you're really in a good space. Everything is lining up for you right now, for sure. Both of these ladies are standing on top of something. So you're at the top of your game. I feel like you're in a really good space. Continue to practice gratitude every day. Every day. Okay, wake up, boom, gratitude. Thank you. I'm on a mission today. Appreciate you for letting me do it. Every day. Between worlds, transitioned, not quite being out of one situation and fully engaged in another. Temporary blindness or no man's land. Okay. I feel like this is exactly what I said, but as before, is this is like where you're observing and you can see you're in between a space, right? See how this Seven of Pentacles, he's sitting there and he's sucking his thumb. He's not picking the fruit or he's not picking the harvest, but he's sitting there patiently waiting because it's like I know my blessing is right in front of me. It's just not right for the picking right now. Like it's there and I know it's coming, but there might be a couple of little steps. There might be a couple of little things. Like it's almost like saying, "Oh, it's the end of the month and I know payday is on 2 days from now or what have you, right?" So it's there, but you just got to exercise a little more patience. And in the meantime, then you can still be visualizing, this is what I'm going to knock out. This is what's done. This is how this blessing will be applied, whatever, or you could just sit there and just practice nothing but straight gratitude for it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Whatever it is for you. Okay, but you are being patient because you understand again that this is a cycle. Okay, things are closing down. This is the last round. So you're sitting back here watching as these people, are they going to catch on, or what is the next cycle that they are now finding themselves in? And you are looking at it like, okay, I know that I have a cycle that's starting for me as well, but you can see where they are in their cycles and you can observe where you are in yours. I hope all of that really makes some good sense. Let's see what your angels and guides have as far as advice goes. Let's see. I always those are my favorites, I know. Okay, well, let's go to our Archangel Power Tarot cards because I like those. Oh, they like, nah, I'm already out. What you looking for me for? Ta-da. All right. Angels, guides, ascendant masters, ancestors. What advice do you have for our collective? What advice do you have for our collective? What words of encouragement? What energy should they embrace or be mindful of? What do you have? What advice do you have for our collective? Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I appreciate you so very much. What guidance do you have for our collective? The Five of Raphael. Everything happens for a reason. Release regret and embrace the opportunities for happiness. Search for the silver lining. Be mindful, right? Be mindful of your thoughts, okay? So you definitely know that life, remember I said life is going to be life, and life is going to do what it's going to do. And you're going to see ups and downs in it. And when those downs come, you're going to be like, okay, this is not an opportune or an ideal time for me. I don't like this necessary feeling, but I accept it as part of life. And what can I do to make sure that I make this difficult time in life as easy as possible, because it's not going to just disappear. I am going to have to work through this. And that's a different type of attitude. That's a different way to now accept life and the hardships that come along. That takes patience and growth and understanding, right? It's saying, I allow myself to feel this grief, but I'm mindful of how long I allow myself to sit in that grief. Okay? I acknowledge that somebody's going to have a bad day. What can I do to at least get through that? Okay, I don't have this person that's going to help back me up today, but what can I do? How can I adjust my attitude to make this as smooth as possible for me? Okay? And sometimes that even means saying to people, hey, I feel a little, maybe I feel under pressure. I'm just a person. I'm trying my best to try to be of service to you. You know, I would appreciate if you could acknowledge that a little bit more, but or how you address and talk with me, things like that, like standing up for yourself, like, hey, I'm just a human trying to go through the day. I'm just a human being trying to live life the best way I can, just like you. And you're having a frustrating moment, and I hear you, I see you on that. But it's definitely, you're creating one for me as well, and that doesn't really help our situation go smoothly. So you want to be able to be honest about where you're coming from, and always look for a way that you can try to make things better than what they are. Okay, it could be a really nasty situation, but you can change your attitude, and you can maybe impact the other person's attitude. And again, that's that Queen of Cups energy. Hey, I feel tension. I feel tension. And, I just need a couple of, deep breaths to, cool down the situation or de-escalate. And maybe we can start over. But really just finding a way to tame that and respond, then react. I really feel like you're in a good space for that. The 10 of Michael, another 10 on the board. 2 5s as well. 2 5s, 3 10s now. Okay. It says a situation has ended and you are finally free. New opportunities for happiness will now follow. Put the past behind you. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to let that shine because that's the second time I've seen it. Okay. 10 of Michael. Remember how we said we're in between worlds, where you're still engaged in something, but not quite finished with something, but you're involved in something else, right? Or you haven't quite closed this door, but this one you've already opened. And so you're kind of in this, like this, where one's closing and one's opening, right? However those hands would have to go. You get it. So you're in that transition. Now, so what that means is it's the ending of a cycle. Remember I said there's a cycle happening right now. There's an ending of a cycle. And we can actually get a little bit deeper here if we really want to, when we're talking about the cycles of life and humanity, and the dimensions and so on and so forth. There's like levels to it, I'm sure a lot of you may be aware of, but let me not jump off of that. We're at a cycle. And we can see it, we can feel it in our society, we can feel it in our world, right? We're at a cycle. And there's a chapter or chapters that are closing, okay? And while this is happening, there are some things that are going to you're going to have to release. There's some things that you're going to have to hang up and leave alone, and you're not going to be able to take those. Well, you can take whatever you want, but it would not be advisable for you to take some of those old ideas and those old beliefs and those old traditions or old whatever taboos with you. It would be a time to go ahead and allow that way of thinking, that way of doing, that way of saying. It would be a time to go ahead and allow all of that. Just release that, okay? Speak the affirmation, release it, and then, replace it with something else. Fill your life up with the new things. Fill your life up with the things that you really, truly want to have in your life. Do you want to fill your life up with more love? Then speak more loving words. Do you want to have more friendships? Then are you doing things to go engage with people more often? Definitely start replacing those old things with the new things that you desire. Okay, that's not going to feel good, because some things are going to separate themselves from you, and you're really not going to have to do it. You're really not going to have a choice over it, right? And then it's going to be hard sometimes, because you're going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to be able to say, you know what, this is not a good space for me. I'm not necessarily feeling at my best when I'm involved here, and so I'm going to have to remove myself. I'm going to have to take myself two steps back sometimes. You may not have to be completely out of a situation, but you're definitely not allowing or giving it as much time and attention as you did before. You can always sit back in meditation and in quiet time and in love and send love. You can always do that. You can always send love to a situation, but you don't have to directly be involved in it if it does not, if it's not good for you. Okay? So you can always send love. I'm saying that because it's gonna hurt. Some feelings are gonna be hurt. Some feelings are gonna be feeling some type of way, because situations, circumstances, benefits have been cut off or have ended. Things have changed. things have shifted. What you were doing for someone before, you're no longer doing, or vice versa. And that's going to cause people to have to step up. They're going to have to say, okay, I get it. That is that you really were helping me out, and I can feel some type of way about it, but at the end of the day, I understand it's really not your obligation. And that's a tremendous amount of onus. Some people are going to be able to own that, some people are not. Okay, but know that all of these things, no matter how that situation pans out, whatever has to be kind of left in, cut off, or pushed a little bit back more, those things are all happening for a specific reason. If it's falling out of your life, if it's losing its grip, then allow it with ease and with love. Release it. Okay, just I release that situation with ease and love. I release that person, ease and love. Whatever that can be, you can go ahead and release it and just inhale and then just let it wash right off of you. You can just push it right off of you, right? So let those things go, because you need to create space. There needs to be space for the new things that are coming in, for the new opportunities that are now following, okay? You're putting the past behind you, understanding that everything happens for a reason. There is going to be some good in this. There's a reason why I had to do this. Know that, trust that, believe in that, honor that. And that's where this Nine of Raphael comes up. And we saw the Nine of Pentacles earlier with the Hierophant, because you know when you know when you know what you know, right? So the Nine of Raphael says, make a wish, your dreams become a reality, a joyful time in life. Okay? That's exactly like what I mean. You've got your harvest is here. It is here. Just don't pick the fruit off the tree too soon. Just be patient, and everything is working out as planned. This cycle is closing. Be prepared and excited. I should say, not, I don't even want to use the word prepared. Be excited about the new cycle that's about to come in for you. You are definitely moving into a cycle of prosperity, health, better times. We'll say, well, you're moving into a cycle of better times. And this can go for, if it's not a financial blessing or a job, it's definitely just life in general, right? You can become, you may become writing more. For some reason, I'm seeing writers writing more. Really taking time for self-care more, understanding the importance of oneself, like you're really coming into a new way of thinking and seeing things. It's great. It's a really good feeling, okay? So, bow. Thank you so very much for watching. That's all I have, and we'll talk again soon.